What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and in this one, we got the post-game breakdown to Michigan's close 72-70 loss to Wake Forest. I'm gonna be going over my key takeaways, my thoughts, as this team showed a lot of promise in this one, but ultimately made too many mistakes late in the game that cost them this game. But they definitely showed us what kind of team they can be like this season. So let's go ahead and get right into it here. So Michigan right away, I mean, they started this game looking pretty hot. It looked like they picked up right where they left off against Cleveland State on Monday, as they were up 25-12 in the first half. But after that, Wake Forest kept chipping away. They came back in it. It was 38-34 at halftime, and then the second half came around and it was just back and forth in the second half. And Michigan, they just could not knock down enough shots late in this game. They also had a lot of mistakes late in the game and kind of some unfortunate errors that didn't go their way. And with less than 3 minutes to go, Michigan, they had a shot clock violation, and then Trey Donaldson missed a layup in transition that would have tied the game up, which is very uncharacteristic of him. Michigan also allowed 2 offensive rebounds on a Wake Forest possession that lasted over 2 minutes before they finally got the ball back. And then also Danny Wolf slipped and was called for a travel. Roddy Gale Jr. the next possession slipped in the same spot and lost the ball. And then Wake Forest forward Trayvon Spillers turned it into 2 points, and Michigan went down 4 at that point. So credit to Wake Forest. That's a very good team. They shot the ball very well in the second half, and they also knocked down their free throws. Michigan, they really didn't have a chance to try and win this one at the end because they kept trailing by 4. They kept fouling. Wake Forest made their free throws. Then when they did miss a free throw, Michigan was down 3, but Wake Forest 2 times fouled Michigan and put them on the line, and Michigan never had a chance to get up a 3-pointer to tie the game. And that's how this game ended. So the one thing I will say is Michigan, they missed a lot of shots late in the game, especially in the second half. I mean, really the whole second half, I feel like Michigan was trying to find somebody who had the hot hand, but really nobody did. The freshman LJ Kaysen, he came in clutch, finishing at the rim at times in the second half. Namari Burnett had some clutch shots, but we kind of see how this team looks when they can't shoot and when the threes aren't falling. So you can definitely make the connection of this Dusty May-led team to a John Beilein type of team, because when John Beilein's teams weren't shooting good, it was going to be a long day. But when they did shoot, those teams were very, very tough to beat. And when they got hot, you weren't going to win that game. So I mean, Michigan, they made 8 of its 10 threes in the first half, although they went 2 of 16 in the second half, and that was really the story of the game. But it just definitely goes to show that this team is very good, because even when they aren't shooting good from deep, they still had a chance to win this game. Unfortunately, I mean, it was really a wet spot on the court away from a win for Michigan. Obviously there were definitely other mistakes and other factors going into the loss, but there was also, some unfortunate events that happened late in the game as well for Michigan. But one thing that does have to get fixed is rebounding for Michigan, especially when you have 2 7-footers out there out of Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf. Wake Forest, they had 11 offensive rebounds, and that just can't happen with 7-footers on the team out of Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden. So that's definitely something that's got to get fixed. And we did see it in the Cleveland State game as well. Rebounding was a little bit of an issue in that game as well. So that's, something that's got to get fixed moving forward. And then obviously, Danny Wolf, Vlad Golden, they didn't have the best of games. Danny Wolf only had 4 points. Vlad Golden is still having a slow start here at Michigan, only 8 points in this game. And I mean, both Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden, they combined for 7 rebounds, so that just cannot happen. But you go ahead and look at points wise again. Danny Wolf 4 points, Vlad Golden 8 points. Roddy Gale Jr., despite having a rough game as far as field goal percentage, he went 3 for 10 and 1 for 5 from 3-point range. He still led the team with 11 points. Trey Donaldson had 10 points. Namari Burnett 9 points. LJ Kaysen 10 points. Reuben Jones, who came back in this game, was injured against Cleveland State. He had 9 points, and Sam Walters had 9 points. I tell you what, Sam Walters is going to be a lethal shooter here at Michigan. He made some clutch shots, especially early in the game. That's actually where he got all his points from, was in the first half. So one player that we didn't really get to see much production from was Will Cheddar. So all in all, I mean, you look at the stats, Michigan 10 for 33 from three-point range, and even Wake Forest, they went 6 for 20 from three-point range, but in the second half, they started knocking down some shots, and they, they were getting to the rim very easily at times, but, at the end of the day, it was just Michigan's late game mistakes, not being able to knock down three-pointers in the second half that led to Wake Forest coming back in this one and beating Michigan 72-70. So again, credit to Wake Forest. I mean, that is a good team. That's a good NCAA tournament team that Michigan just played. And obviously this is a whole brand new team for Michigan. There's going to be growing pains, especially early in the season, which is why it's pretty nice for Michigan to have a tough non-conference schedule. I mean, their next game is against TCU on Friday, which is going to be a big one. And then they also play Virginia Tech, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. So they're playing 5 Power 4 opponents in their non-conference schedule. Actually 6, including the Fort Myers tip-off games when they play Virginia Tech. They'll play either South Carolina or Xavier after the Virginia Tech game. So it definitely is good for this team to, go up against that competition ahead of Big Ten play. And obviously, again, this team's going to have growing pains. It's early in the season. This team is not going to look the way they are going to look come later in the season. So it's still going to be a big game, though, coming up against TCU. That's definitely a game now that they have to win. But this was a good loss for this team, especially coming off a dominant win over Cleveland State, 101-53. Maybe, bring some of these players back down to reality, because, the field goal percentage they shot at in that game against Cleveland State, that's not how it's going to be like the entire season. But it's definitely a good sign, again, that this team was able to have a shot at the end to win this game despite all the mistakes, despite the rough shooting percentage from three-point range, and not really one person having a hot hand in this game, especially in the second half. They still had a chance to win it at the end despite all of that. So let me know what you guys thought, or let me know what you guys think about this game. This team, they're going to be very good this season. So I'm definitely excited to, continue covering this team, watching them improve, gain more chemistry together. This is going to be a very good shooting team. They just got to learn from their mistakes and obviously learn from this game. When you have an off day shooting, these kind of games can happen. But other than that, that is going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more. If you are new around here, I greatly appreciate it. And other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.